Morning. Morning. Welcome to the last TurnUp Thursday of 2020. Take a minute or two before we get shit started. Glad you can make it. Hey Google, turn down one level. Get some proper balance. Now hold up, let me roll up. Good morning. Don't be hesitant to text up. It's the last day of 2020. It's the last time you have something, a chance to say something to me this year. You know what I mean? For 2020. Good time to get your lurker hidden feelings out and all that. Or just, you know what I mean? An end year, hey, what's up? How you doing? We made it through kind of salutation. You know? But weirdo 1 or 2, you can hold your ground. You know, I won't hold it against it. We know y'all just comfortable trying to hold my nuts. I don't need nothing more. But Happy New Year. Congratulations, you had 300 and something days of consecutive D-riding. Now on the glorious day, the question is, what'd you get from all that? Damn thing. So let me get to my other part of the show. Almond Face, you be back. Or whoever the weirdo is on that side. Now, let me get this situated. I need to figure out what's going on. Politicking.
2020. I'm Clayton Morris. So glad to have you here. This is the only progressive morning news show. Covers the real issues not covered by the mainstream media. I'm your humble host. Thank you so much for joining us on this December 31st. So glad to see all of you. Today we're going to be talking about how disgusted I am with the Senate and Mitch McConnell, and what is the path forward for targeted stimulus of $2,000. We'll look at that on the show today. We'll look at Ted Cruz, who voted against stimulus. He voted against the $600 checks. He voted against the $2,000 proposal. Said no way, but he's raking in cash off of donors. We're going to tell you this heinous thing that this senator, among others, is doing.
Yeah, those of you that ain't from this
at,
country and don't work, break
an
out.
unbelievable
This really
story.
don't.
Dave and I were talking
It ain't
about
gonna
this
help you.
last night, where you have a landlord which has decided to basically imprison people, deactivating key fobs of COVID positive homeowners.
Stop.
So that they get locked in their house, or if they attempt to gain access to their own home, that the homeowners association said, you're infected, key fob won't work. That and more on today's show. Grover is here, passed out after playing with some doggies all morning, running around on the beach, attacking larger and smaller dogs, and now he's passed out. Last day of the year. David is in the control booth. Happy last day of 2020, my friend.
Yeah, you as well. Happy birthday.
Well, thank you so much.
I got something here for you. So let's do this really quick. All right, hold on a second here. Music. All right, everybody, let's wish Clayton a happy birthday. You gotta start that over.
You ever hear people talk about how they flip stuff? Like flipping houses, flipping stocks, or even flipping items on eBay? Well, the amount of money you can...
Happy birthday, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you, man. I thought for a second he was actually going to read my name. I would have been stunned. Thank you, everyone. It is weird, this time of year. And for me, I think about like it's a good reset. People think like New Year's resolutions don't really work. I think they actually do work for me because I spend this time sitting down with my journal and sort of mapping out my goals for the new year, and sort of the solar return of your youth and what you want for your life and what you want for the next year. So for a lot of people, New Year's resolutions are just kind of a fad kind of a thing. But for me, I think it's a good good time of year to sit down and be objective about what you want. So this year, I definitely want to work on being more organized. And so I've got my my focus journal, the Michael Hyatt collection. I love his full focus planners. So I'm going to be, and I just signed up for a full subscription of them for the year. So they come out every quarter, and it really helps you figure out what are your daily 3 big things you want to focus on, your other tasks, and then kind of looking at the week. And so I really want to grow this show. It's one of my big goals this year is to really grow this show and really take things to the next level. We're going to be building a new studio soon with multiple cameras and everything. So I want to thank all of you for supporting this show, and it's grown tremendously. We started this at the beginning of 2020, roughly, and it's just been amazing to joining us. We can't. Heather Smith says, I thought you'd be playing some Beatles birthday songs. We cannot because that's copyright, right?
Yep. Otherwise,
that's me down in the
That's exactly what I would have played if I could. Believe me.
Thank you for your super chat, Thomasina. Happy birthday to you as well. And you got a blessing has a birthday next week. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to all of the people who have share a birthday with me on this December 31st. Thank you, everyone. So I hope I can bring you maybe some good news today a little bit, if I can. That's my goal. My goal is not to be, I am a positive human being. I will say I am a positive person, but man, this news lately has just been so frustratingly bad that it's made it difficult to be a positive person. But hopefully 2021 will be a much more positive experience for all of us. That's what my hope is, and especially for you. I hope I hope we can elect leaders that share our progressive values. I hope we can put in place people that care about, Medicare for all, free public college, making sure that you are taken care of, expanding workers' rights in this country. All of those issues very, very important to me and hopefully to you as well. So thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it on this birthday edition. We're going to go out to a birthday lunch in a little bit after the show. Sort of a birthday brunch lunch. Everything's kind of closed tonight. It's kind of... Oh, it's like a lunch dinner. So I am freshly shaven. Freshly showered. How old am I? I am 44 today. Am I really? How did that happen? 44 today. Feels great though. I must admit, like in your 40s, I just feel like you understand yourself a lot more. Oh yeah, my wife got me, because I never have sunglasses. And I always forget them. I'm walking Grover in the sun, and so she got me some really nice sunglasses. And then here they are.
Nice.
I look like the Terminator.
I'll be back.
So Ray-Bans. I'll be back. It's my birthday. It's my birthday gift. Like that. And I can rip them off when I'm pissed. Like yesterday, Senator Pat Toomey on the floor of the Senate last night. He started off with his glasses on, and he went to make a point. He's like, all right, it's my turn to speak about how I don't want to give you money. Let me be straight with you. That's what I'm going to do. I'd be like Joe Biden. Hey, what's up, everyone? Hey.
Yeah. Salute, man.
Well, you don't have any gray hair yet.
I got some.
We made it through, bruh. Good morning. Last day of this shit ass year. How you doing, man? How you doing? Just finishing the first blunt. The 30-minute rule. Yo, son, you guys send me the friend request, my ninja, to this account. I ain't got you on this account. I mean, I don't think so. Halfway through my cup of mud, just, you know what I mean? Up. Like, hey. 7 Jamo. Old smokes. You old commenters, good to see you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. But yeah, son, you guys send me a friend request to this account. Motherfuckers terminated my other account and shit, so. Okay, you out and about, got you. Yeah, it's motherfucking. Here, look. I'm gonna type it so you can screenshot it for yourself. And 7 Jamo, if you'd like, you can send one. Known me for a while. To that. Blunts are lit. You on your way to Lowe's? On my way to Lowe's to get it for the low. See, I'm finna pick up the load at Lowe's for the low. I'm on the low with this little project I got. I'm just on my early morning political digest, see what's going on. I already know they didn't do nothing. I can give you spoiler alert. They ain't do shit. Everything's been adjourned till later on today, but I like hearing different people's perspective and opinions on the matter. We have a big ass mirror that's in the hallway, stairwell that I have to clean. Break out the Windex, nigga. Get your Daniel something. Your wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. You know what I mean? Paper towels, fresh roll, and the Windex. That should be hell for me in here. I swear to God, boy. I need damn near the whole roll when I clean. Huh? The way I smoke in here? Hey, the weed filter, you know what I'm saying? The smoke filter and all that should be on everything, nigga. Everything. Everything. Not some of the shit, but everything. Gotta get a long squeegee with the extension. Damn, you really do have a big man. I thought you might have had just some little shit. Putting together 3 extenders and shit. And they got the whole backpack with the motherfucking pressurized system. They got you hanging off the side of the motherfucking harness and shit. Damn, nigga, it's motherfucking New Year's, nigga. That shit can't wait till tomorrow. Nigga said I'm gonna get some work done for 2020. I hear you, I hear you. That shit's to the ceiling. It ain't nothing but hate. It ain't nothing but hate, man. It ain't nothing but hate. That's what I think. You know what I mean? That shit could have waited till motherfucking Tuesday or whatever. They like, nah, let's have shit looking extra clean. He thought he was gonna enjoy his New Year's and all that, kick back with some Henny or something. Nah, get him up. Get him up. We finna crack the whip for the last day of 2020. Where you at? Damn. See, I'd have hit the window a long time ago with a sledgehammer. I had a jail bid and everything. Owed the city, me versus the people. I'm not getting on the ladder on that stage. Fuck that. I go back to work Saturday. Head ass. I'm gonna call them all this Black Lives Matter business craziness going on. Y'all worried about having clean windows? They finna break the fucking windows. In fact, I'm finna do it. Tell them motherfuckers we need them 2,000. Call back. Oh, I motherfucking forgot. That was my motherfucking IE 2 weeks of resignation. Fuck y'all. Lucky I don't break some more windows. Yeah, I get spiteful, you know. But it's the last Turn Up Thursday, man. We up early in the morning. Pros is asleep. It's a beautiful thing. My obsessors ain't around. They sleep. They was up late last night, hoping I was gonna put up a late night stream. I kept them motherfuckers waiting at the bus stop. The bus never showed up. Nigga, the bus caught 2 flats, never made it to the destination. You stood at the goddamn bus stop for about 2 extra hours and shit. And then have to walk home with your head down. Damn, Term didn't get on. So here I am, you know. Well, look, let me get into some of this politics, see what's going on, man. What's going on with the world today? Keep disconnecting and connecting. Why?
What I'd like to see from this show in the new year. You know, I first of all, I want to thank all of you that subscribe to our show and are part of this show every day. It really means the world to me. But what would you love to see in 2021? More stories about this, or you know, more Grover.
Dancing or a cooking stream.
Dancing or a cooking stream. Just let me know what you guys would like to see. Here is Grover. He was barking or what, but the camera feed maybe stuttered a little bit. I don't know what's happening over there. Stimulus checks. Yeah, I'd like to see stimulus checks as well. All right, we're going to start the show in about in a minute. Do you do any like David? Do you do any like New Year's resolutions, or is that not a thing you partake in?
Yeah, it's not really a thing I partake in. I'm constantly doing things like that throughout
More
the year.
Grover.
Saying I'm gonna do this better. I'm gonna like just constantly
I'm constantly
adjusting.
improving.
More
myself.
Grover cam.
I'm constantly improving myself. So
Constantly trying.
I don't partake in those New Year's resolutions. Every day I'm a better man.
Right.
A constant work in progress. Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing though that when you do write stuff down,
Yeah.
I love looking at my goals for the end of the year. And I think, you know, like I wanted to launch our newsletter, which we did last year. I wanted to take this show. I wanted to hit 400,000 subscribers this year. We just passed that a few weeks ago by the end of the year. So it's amazing when you write things down what actually happens, you know?
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
Yeah, I'm gonna focus on my
I do
channel
write
in a
things
different
down.
light this year.
But I write them in an erasable pad, so at the end of it, I erase it and start over.
Blue chip art outperformed the S&P by 180% between 2000 and 2018. Welcome to Masterworks.io. My name is Candy Light, and I'm here to tell you
Well, let's
about
keep it
investing
light,
in
Candy.
All right, welcome in to your New Year's Eve edition of Morning Invest, the only progressive morning show on the internet with a live audience. So much love to my audience. I love seeing all of these familiar faces. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. It's very easy to do. We cover the progressive stories that you're not going to hear covered on, you know, CNN, MSNBC, anywhere else, because we will call out these corrupt politicians and your corrupt mainstream media, by the way. Welcome in, everyone. Today on the show, we're going to be talking about Mitch McConnell proving himself to be the most unliked man in America this morning. What does that feel like, Mitch, to wake up and feel like you're the most unliked man in America this morning? Blocking stimulus in the Senate. We'll tell you the next and the pathway forward on stimulus checks. And what's next?
Hey, Clayton.
Senator Ted Cruz.
I heard.
Yo.
I don't really appreciate
I hope
you
every
talking bad
militia
about
and
politicians.
the Proud Boys and BLM and all of them put him number one as their target list.
This is a place where we are going to call BS on these politicians.
Turtle
By the
boy.
way, Congress has a 13% approval rating. So, do you know that certain diseases have a higher approval rating than Congress? Did you know that smallpox actually is more well-liked than Congress? Certain fungal infections have a higher favorability rating than Congress.
Jerry
For good
Springer.
reason.
Jerry Springer has a higher approval rating.
Yeah, I might bump up my dosage. I fell off over the last few years.
Senator Ted Cruz is another person who's not well liked. He claims that we can't afford stimulus. Well, he's been soaking.
Remember, I used to burn
donations for that
4
Georgia
blunts an
runoff
hour.
election. Yeah, taking
And do
advantage of
9-hour
poor saps who
streams.
think they're donating to the Georgia runoff election. In fact, it's going just to his campaign.
Who is this
I'll tell you
guy?
about that little nefarious ploy. that
Now we
Steve
down to
Ballmer
2
salesman
blunts an
Senator
hour.
Ted Cruz is playing this morning.
2 hours.
Also, landlords are locking people out of their apartments who test positive for COVID. Now, there's lawsuits, and there should be. Plus, the Pentagon reminds us how many enemies we have. We need to be really scared of more people this morning so that we can continue to fund the military-industrial complex. We need to be scared of multiple countries. Are you scared? I hope you are. Because that means we need to spend more money on the military and buying more aircraft, more aircraft carriers, and more bombs. Are you ready to pony up some more money for bombs? Pentagon wants you to think you need to. Before we get to the news this morning, I want to tell you about our newsletter. I'm so excited. This is my birthday wish. Yes, today is my birthday. So thank you to all of you for joining us today. My only birthday wish today is for, if you're not a free member of our morning newsletter, sign up. It's totally free. We write it every morning. We spend like 3 hours writing it in the morning, and you can read it in about 5 minutes. And we cover 5 or 6 news stories in the newsletter. Natalie and I work on this every morning. And it's totally free. Just go to morninginvest.com.
No, I'll do that.
Always some really interesting stories in there every day for you. And it's totally free. You'll get a welcome email. It'll probably go to your junk folder or newsletter folder or something like that if you're using Gmail. Just drag it into your main inbox so you'll see it every morning.
Real G's use
We don't
Gmail.
spam you at all. We just provide our goal is to provide value. So you are informed about stories that I think matter to all of you. Like one of the stories we covered in the newsletter this morning was about all of this plastic and chemicals seeping out of these plastic pipes in California thanks to the wildfires. That's why we need to get rid of plastics in this country. So all of this horrible chemicals pouring into the groundwater. So the wildfires were one thing, but then all of these melted plastic pipes, now people are drinking all these chemicals in their water.
That was one of your sons.
10 times.
That was one of your son's winter solstice wishes, right? Or for the new year?
Yeah. Because we were very anti-plastic in this family. Single-use plastic. And my son, one of his things for this year is he wants to do better in our family for making sure that we're not using single-use plastics. Because it just winds up inside of us and inside of birds' stomachs and animals and mammals all through the ocean. It's disgusting, and we need to end it. So that's my little diatribe this morning on plastics. Good morning, everyone. We're going to talk stimulus now, and we've got some big updates on the stimulus front. So Mitch McConnell took to the floor of the Senate last night and made it known that he is not going to pass a fire hose of money to the American people. He thinks that this is what President Trump has been calling for, $2,000 stimulus checks, is a fire hose of money to the American people.
But he agreed to it yesterday.
So here is Senator Mitch McConnell, after it was brought to the floor, asking to pass the House bill. Here's Mitch McConnell putting the kibosh on a way forward for this bill.
7.7 million people signing up to use this, but the latest thing that you're introducing...
Skipping over.
Look, it's no secret that Republicans have a diversity of views about the wisdom of borrowing hundreds of billions more to send out more non-targeted money, including to many households that have suffered no loss of income during the crisis.
Turtle boy.
COVID-19 has not affected all households equally, not even close. But above and beyond that discussion, the Democratic leaders have broken from what President Trump proposed. They quietly changed this proposal in an attempt to let wealthy households suck up even more money. If specific struggling households need still more help after the huge historic package that was just signed into law 4 days ago has taken effect, then what they will need is smart, targeted aid. Not another fire hose of borrowed money that encompasses other people who are doing just fine.
A fire hose.
Pause. He stood there and told lies. The lies you tell to me. The bill is shaped around there are stipulations in the bill for the bread. In short, all you have to do is show your numbers and show that you're struggling, and you can't make more 6 figures. You get the allocations. You get the relief. If you didn't make more than 75, 80,000 this year, I think it's 75 in fact, That's you. How the fuck is it going to go to a rich person? Or a household that doesn't need it? Because if the household that doesn't need it shows that they're making 6 figures, they're not going to get it. So he's saying some fake shit about what happened last time. Last time, everybody got the money. Motherfuckers that didn't need it, they still got the shit sitting in the bank on top of 22 other racks. Or 32, or 42, 52, 152, 252. They got $250,000. They ain't need it. That's what he's saying, which is true. But in this bill that he's talking about, you know, that was the last bill. This bill, all that's been fixed. So he's standing there lying. He's standing there lying to people who don't know that the stipulations has been changed and fixed within this bill. Talking about some, yeah, well, you know, we ain't gonna go in for a deficit, woody-whoopie-woo. Like I said, man, I hope the Proud Boys and every other militia of our country catches up with Buddy. You know, just have a little sit down and chat with him.
Yeah, we cannot send the American people a $2,000 check. I don't care where, I mean, what world are you living in? You think $2,000 to Americans making under $100,000 and who, through no fault of their own, have had to close their business, had reduced hours, have health care bills that are piling?
I posted this on my IG yesterday. Hold on. You heard what he just said, right? Hold on. So you think 2 G's, so you think 2 Jesus. Boy, you better think to Jesus. Huh? What that say? Verizon bill. Hey, total amount due $1,825. You know that shit due by the 18th? Just look over the Verizon and the Horizon. Shit, they go to 2 right there. You know, we're going to have a little 175 left over. What we going to do with that? Oh, shit, grab an onion. Get a fresh zip. So, the phone would be good. We can check off the box there. Get a nice zip, light up off of that factor. Oh, gee. They took care of the phone bill for this year. All right, because it was getting out of hand. It was really beginning to worry me. That's just the phone bill, nigga. Fuck you mean? What you mean? What are they talking about? Because it just sounds very foreign to the fucking situation I call reality. But, hey, look, back to the regular scheduled program.
Piling up. I've seen your comments. I've been reading all of your comments, and I want you to let me know what you're dealing with and struggling with. Leave a comment below this video.
I will post up that.
How can $2,000 help you?
How can it help you?
Do you have hours reduced? How much are you paying for medicine right now?
A lot.
Have you had to, assist your child who now is home from college? You're paying extra for food bills in your house because you have a child that's living at home with you right now.
Not college-wise. We got children,
that
though.
Extra job. You haven't been able to go back to your employment.
No.
You've had, live events that you can't do anymore. You can't travel. All of these things are affecting our family.
Yeah.
You had to increase your utility bills because you have your kids doing virtual learning at home.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. God forbid. And by the way, this is somehow a fire hose. But again, it's okay for us to pump billions of dollars.
If the fire hose goes that way one time, just one time.
And foreign
I ain't got to worry about that phone bill, though.
Well, I was going to say,
okay
how many hoses do they have pointed at the military? Like, if that doesn't prove to the people that the military is not about caring about the American people, it's not about protecting the American people, because they're showing daily that they don't care about the American people. So then the military money isn't to do that.
Right, and I see people here in our... Exactly. I mean, well, think about, first of all, the amount of money that this guy makes. right? Mitch McConnell, this clown, makes from the military-industrial complex, okay? This guy, and oil and gas companies, right? Big businesses, huge donors to Mitch McConnell. So he doesn't give a rat's behind about you. And I know Republicans have a diversity of opinions about, sending out money to people that just shouldn't deserve it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, they do? Yeah, that's a really diverse opinion. Here's the diversity. On the one side, it's okay for us to funnel billions of dollars to billionaires and millionaires. But the other side of it is that we do not want to send money to the American people that don't really matter to us as senators, because they can't really help us. They don't send us money for our campaigns. They don't help us get reelected. They are not members of the Chamber of Commerce that funnel money to us. They don't do anything for us. They're not a member of some trade group or some organization. They're just Americans. They're just little working class people. And we shouldn't care about those people, I guess.
You know, it's too bad that we can't. Here. I was just gonna say, it's too bad that we as people can't determine, like, their approval rating percentage is, what their pay is based on. So if their approval rating goes down, their pay goes down. So that they love that. Yeah, so that they would fight to keep their approval rating high by doing what we wanted, and then get their full paycheck.
Of course, these paychecks, they make $170,000, $180,000 a year. They just voted to give themselves health care increases as part of the COVID bill. So now they get an additional $5 million. But, think about a guy like Mitch McConnell, right? Here's a guy whose wife got millions of dollars. Elaine Chao. So his wife gets, from these PPP loans, gets tons of free money from you, the taxpayers. So you're fine, right? You're not hurting at all. But his family gets tons of money from the federal government and health care taken care of. But when we want to call for additional money just to help the American people, that's a fire hose. That's a fire hose.
So, in my view, colleagues like Senator Cornyn and Senator Toomey have pointed this out persuasively.
Persuasively. So what did they actually point out last night, Senator Toomey and Senator Cornyn? They pointed out that this money would go to people that didn't lose their job. This money would go and wouldn't be targeted. That's what they pointed out. That was their only excuse. That's it. Which is, as you know, is a canard. It's not true. Because, again, I'm looking here at your comments, and feel free, David, to throw these up on the screen, because I see a lot of people saying, look, my wife, here's Robert Slavin, says my wife has to stay home now, lost income because the children are home. Yeah. Melody Berry says, I'm a disabled senior. I live on Social Security. Since August, I can only pay half of my rent and my electric. You're live. We're live right now, folks. If you're watching our show, let me know in the comments. What are you suffering with right now? What message do you want to send Congress? Because this guy, Mitch McConnell, thinks that you don't deserve it. This guy thinks that it would just be a fire hose of $2,000 to you and you don't deserve it. Tammy Gibbs says, I take medications every other day because my medications are $500 a month. So she breaks it up. Now she takes it every other day. My husband had his hours cut to 24 hours a week. I'm disabled, so I can't work. It sucks because my hubby has no health insurance. He has no health insurance. He's had his hours cut, so he's technically still employed, right? See, that doesn't fall into their government metric, by the way. Angie Shadrick says, utility bills, mortgage bills, car payments, food bills, medical bills, medicines, basic hygiene bills, $2,000 would help us not to have to choose one or the other. These are real Americans, Mitch. I have 2 young adult sons. 3 of them, their friends are living with us because they don't have a place to stay. Right. Perfect example, if I'm saying your name right, Kenitha? Because here you go, Kenitha. This doesn't fall into the government's metrics, right? They don't know that you're taking care of these additional people. They have no place to go. So you lost your job in March. You have no unemployment. Wouldn't a $2,000 check help you to help them?
It helped me.
You don't
help
need it.
doesn't.
Brian Bang. Me and my wife are losing hours because we take turns with the kids home for online learning, and it's putting us behind. Exactly. Brian. But under the government, they don't care. They don't know that you are taking hours or fewer hours. Therefore, you're still showing up as employed. And therefore, you shouldn't receive a $2,000 stimulus check. Mitch McConnell. Turtle Boy. He's fine. Todd Barnier. I went from averaging $50,000 a year working ungodly amounts of overtime to living in a boarding room, and I ran out of federal unemployment. I am so sorry to hear that, Todd. A real American right there, suffering. Not enough for you, Mitch. You're more interested in doing nothing for the American people.
Well, his wife's an American, Clayton. Just so you know, his wife is an American, so he did help her.
That's right. He did help Elaine Chao. She got all kinds of good bonuses. Thanks to the taxpayers for that.
Yeah, that's got to count for
exactly,
something,
Grover.
I would think. You need to give credit where credit's due, man.
It's a fact. In the new economy,
even
average
Grover
people
agrees.
are becoming millionaires faster and easier than ever before. But how do they do it? According to the news, the whole world's falling apart.
Come on, bro.
Well, that's...
Take your toughest bill. And possibly, you know, the $2,000 might clear that. Yeah. I got others. I find that one the most interesting. 1800. Why are we in the 1800s? But I took the, you know what I mean, the pass of shit for the COVID. And that's the number looking like now. Where's the cavalry? Where's the belief? Shit, that's just a phone bill.
Oh, thank you for your super chats. I don't always get to see them, and I'm trying to be better about that. So if you do send me a super chat, I will check it here. Thank you so much. And to all of our new channel members here today as well, thank you for supporting independent journalism. Grover, can I help you? He's pissed as well. He just doesn't like this. He doesn't like this GIF, by the way. He does not like seeing... When he sees... Grover is going crazy. When he sees this, when he sees Mitch McConnell, he's like, I can't handle this guy. He's pissed off at Turtle Boy. Go back to your hole, Mitch,
No.
where you spawn.
That's politically correct.
So his targeted bill can't forever serve.
Alright, this is politics. This is America. We're entitled to our feelings, freedom of speech. Yeah, sound good. Look, I don't even know how he kept his job. I don't. But I do. Because people didn't have him on their radar until it was too late. Like, by the time people caught him on their radar and caught up, oh shit, he's up for election, it had already passed. And all his people flooded in. He's got his followers, his rich followers that see to it that, you know, them and everybody, oh, we gonna support you. Get your follows and your views up and shit. You know what I mean? They secured, yo, the president gets 4 years. Senators get 6. This ninja in office for the next 6. He just got reelected, bro. Buddy he ain't even fresh back on the job for 30 days yet. So, he ain't finna come to his senses. Somebody should help him. If it takes him, he can lose. He'll still be in politics, but he can lose his position where he's at right now. And that'll be good. That's what we need. Really go. Gotta get him out the way, bro. He the only one. The others, they weak. They echo behind him. They're echoing what he says. They don't come up with their own original points of nothing. And they have to ride for him. They his cronies. Since 1985. In the back. I died 1986, 1997, boy, 95, 2005, Buddy's the reason shit is what it is. You gotta know it. He all about passing them bills. He all about sending our bread here, sending it there. He's never, in his career, thus far, past two. This might be the third time that he's ever had to stand for the people, that his job really demanded, responsibility from him. Otherwise, it's, feet shuffling and all those. He's no different than the teacher on Charlie Brown. When they all sitting in the class and shit. Charlie, yes, teacher. Yes, teacher. That's no doubt. That's what we dealing with, bro. He is, as they say, the swamp. They call it the swamp boy. He the whole Loch Ness monster right there. That's the whole Loch Ness monster right there. Him, Nancy Pelosi, and others, they good. They good no matter what. His job, he's been hired to show up. I object. Is that money for the people? Well, if I can't get all that I need for the people that I'm with, I object. Forget it. You guys must not know me. I've been here since 1985. I object. Bruh. You want to know what's wrong with America? Shit. Turtle Boy. Him and others. Oh, the people, they're gonna get rich. Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna get right with Verizon. Get myself a zip and woosah. All right. Made it through. We good. Fuck you mean? Wait, what? Who getting rich? Who getting what? That's my end. Then the next end, I ain't gonna continue to map out finances and shit, but that's good enough, ain't it? $1,825 of them dollars straight over to Verizon bar. Take that. We good? Hello. Yes. Oh, thank you. Happy New Year's to you too. Yeah. So I'm clear on everything, right? It's zero. Oh. Okay. Okay. Thank you. No. There's nothing else you can do for me. You can have a good holidays. All right. Yeah. Let's get ready for 2021. All right. You have a good day. They go to 2 racks. Fuck you mean? And the experience in it. Boy, that was rich. That was a rich experience right there. Could, you know me. Drone guy. Hey, I could go get a motherfucking Mavic Pro. Whatchamacallit, the latest, but the thing, responsibilities, priorities and shit, we gotta have that in order before we can go, splurge. Like we rich or whatever. Every one of my drones I saved up to on a project. Fuck you mean? But y'all got some problems? Y'all got some situations? Well, everybody good. Ain't no future in frontin'. Huh? He's talking this. You fuck the stimulus. Fuck what you talking about? It ain't, oh, Master P, nigga. It ain't my fault. Oh, it ain't my fault. You didn't get on board with the taxes for 2019 by some form or fashion. You was against the damn machine or whatever. I don't know. I don't care. Motherfuckers was accusing me of not being in the program. Lo and behold, now niggas is mad at motherfuckers, you know, pulling stimulus and shit. Scandal's coming soon with him and his wife. Get the shamans, all the voodoo masters. Yeah. Now, you know, I've been waiting to see what Alexander was talking about, because he said that they was members of Congress, Senate, Congress, all that we've unnecessarily had to pay attention to this year. Well, necessarily had to pay attention to this year, pardon. That they guilty as hell for taking certain bread, sending it out to the foreign people, right? Foreigners, as they've been doing. But then the foreigners send them some bread back for sending them the bread and launder their money for them. A whole laundering sort of service going on. Money laundering service. You know what I'm saying? Money come up missing. You wondering how motherfuckers, a senator gets paid $100,000 a year. But how the hell he got 100 M's in his bank? We need to follow the money. We need to audit they shit. Somebody hit the books and something ain't right. It just don't add up. And I don't know. Sounds like the crappiest idea of plans to become public enemy #1 in America any year, but especially this year. Because all while people have acted up, protesting wise, America really ain't acted up yet. I don't know. We on our usual, you know, destroy, build, divide shit. But we haven't. Hey. Yeah. All them bullets that was bought up, all that ammunition that was bought up at the beginning of the year, remember? Gun shops selling out. Ammunition, you can't find it. Yeah, all them bullets ain't been fired off at all. We can count up the bullets that have been fired off this year. About a good hundo clip. Huh? 100 shots so far this year that have landed, hit targets, basically. You know what I mean? Due to violence. That's just one of those drums. That's just that. Man, they sold out everything. Somebody's waiting to go to war. I know it. This ain't the shit that we need. All right, everybody don't want to fucking go to war. Right? But hey, this is what it boils down to. See that? See that? See how quick they just roll straight over the fact of Christmas? Man, fuck your Christmas. That's what they saying, you know. Hey, we was gonna try to, but you know what? Just take this and make do. Right? That's 6. That's 6. Family of 4 here. Andrew, what's up? What's going on? Good morning. Family of 4, right? So what's that? 24. But what did I just show you? I just showed you a phone bill that'll eat up all of that and leave behind $575. So that would leave this family of 4 to get by off of one of the intended 6 for all of us. Ooh. That's cutting it short. That's cutting it close when you get it. So yeah, the 2,000. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, let that go. Let that go. Cause that's 6. What helps? Anything helps. Shit. You flick a quarter at the doorstep. We could use that. That's a conflict of interest. Your office is working with your wife's office, who is secretary of the Department of Transportation, and getting a lot of money out of thin air. I like it. I like it. I like it. Sledgehammer Crew Investigations. We got our shit together. Yeah. We should be hearing about that within the coming weeks here. Hopefully before January 5th. You know what I mean? Full exposure on all these people. You know. Before the people win offices to all politics, all headquarter offices to politics. It'll be a first. I don't know when the last time Democrats owned everything. I don't think it ever happened. I don't know. But yeah. These Republicans, though. Oh, man. Yeah. It ain't working. It ain't working. But look, I'm going to go on this little blunt run. Put the show back on. And voila. Huh? And again, good morning. And salute. You made it. I mean, unless the day ends, the world ends before this day is over, you made it. You made it to 2020. You survived 2020. Yes, you did. Who, me? Yeah, you. Along with us. We did it. Hoorah. But it ain't over, motherfuckers. It ain't over. The bullshit. The year? Yeah. But the bullshit? No. So, let's see what they got. The Great Reset. The Great Reset is to blame. All politicians and bankers too. I'm sure we can come up with a fine list of other members. Are to blame. Morning Invest, man. That's why I like this guy, man. Adam Clayton. His wife gave him a re-election present of $78 million in federal funding. Say it ain't so. And he can't do anything for the people. You know, the thing with gifts, it's supposed to keep gifting. You know, something of the effect of paying it forward. I mean, if we would have known, you know, I mean, shit. I probably would have and should have inspired myself to become a politician. Good 20 years ago, you know. Let's get into politics and become a politician. If I could just make it to mayor, governor, you know, I'm in there.
But more broadly, here's the deal. The Senate is not going to split apart the 3 issues that President Trump linked together just because Democrats are afraid to address 2 of them.
Let me turn up this mumbling fucking...
Okay, Mitch, I didn't want to have to do this. Yeah, I did. I want to call your bluff. I want to call your BS once again. You don't want to split apart the 3 pieces that President Trump talked about. You are not constitutionally allowed to put in stimulus checks as part of your bill. But you did it anyway. That's why Democrats can't vote on it. You cannot alter the tax code of the IRS. Only the House of Representatives can do that.
Drag them down for that and bring this out.
You cannot do that. And Section 230, this whole tech piece, as Bernie Sanders pointed out last night, separate it out. Separate it. Let's vote on it. We should have a discussion about it. Why are you afraid, Mitch, to separate these bills out because you know they might pass? I honestly can't wrap my head around. Like my wife and I were talking last night. I can't understand how you're Mitch McConnell. Like, what is going through your head that you literally could not bring an up or down vote for a $2,000 stimulus check bill and let the chips fall where they may?
Read Alex.
And I appreciate you saying so, Andrew.
Alex says, I cried last night when my daughter asked why these people won't help. I'm ashamed that I served for this country for a government to do as it pleases. Yeah, Alex, and thank you for your service. Now, I should mention about our VA right now.
Morning, Crash.
You know, when I was at Fox, we kept hearing how bad the VA services were for our veterans.
I'm about to run an errand right now.
President Trump was supposed to fix all of that. Guess what? It's an absolute disaster.
Thomas the Turtle looking at
is a disaster for our veterans. Trying to get the help they need, the care they need. They serve their country. We send them to the front lines. We send them around the world. And in many cases, we're doing it to further the military-industrial complex, separate these families, separate a husband or wife from their family to serve overseas. And this is the thanks we give somebody like Alex?
But
how about we take some of that massive military budget and instead of spending it on new aircraft and bombs, we actually help somebody like Alex,
decent game,
who served this country. And his kids are wondering, why the heck won't the government help us?
And they should have released the...
Donna Cannon says, my food stamps were cut in half in the first pandemic, and all I had to do was use my money, which I have to pay the rent, the whole entire house bills, but yet we're not suffering.
And the multiplayer should have come out by now.
And we suffer, on and on.
Hey.
So, these bills haven't changed. They've only gotten more. The price of food has gone up. The price of things have gone up.
I'll be right back.
Wall Street's doing fine. But Mitch McConnell says that Democrats are to blame. And yet you won't bring this up for an up or down vote. President Trump says pass $2,000 stimulus ASAP. If you're a weak leader, Mitch.
The Senate's not going to be bullied into rushing out more borrowed money into the hands of Democrat rich friends who don't need the help.
Did you hear the hypocrisy in that sentence? We are not going to be bullied. Bullied by whom? President of the United States, who's the leader of your party, who's calling on you to pass $2,000 stimulus checks? And by the way, we're not going to be bullied into sending out money to rich Democrats? Really? That's where it's going to go?
Okay.
To rich Democrats. Okay. That's ridiculous.
We just approved almost $1 trillion in aid a few days ago. It struck a balance between broad support for all kinds of households and a lot more targeted relief for those who need help the most. We're going to stay smart, we're going to stay focused, and we're going to continue delivering on the needs for our nation.
Right this moment, there is a mad rush in America. Apple, Amazon, Facebook, dozens more. They're all betting on a radical new technology that will change the way we live. This is the future, says Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak. The Wall Street Journal agrees, calling it foundational, like the internet and electricity. Investors are paying close attention because the World Economic Forum projects this technology will soar 295,762% over the next 7 years alone. More than 5G, AI, and the Internet of Things combined. That's why companies like Walmart, Visa, Dole, FedEx, Ford, GM, JP Morgan, and Shell are also involved. And a recent report from UBS found 200 of the richest families on Earth, worth an average $1.2 billion, agree this will fundamentally change the way we invest.
You can feel the electricity. It's almost like you felt in the 1990s with the internet.
In fact, in a story missed by the media, even Warren Buffett, famous for hating technology investments, has called this ingenious. And he's making a huge billion-dollar bet. If you've ever kicked yourself for missing out on history's biggest trends, like investing in Microsoft in the 80s, Amazon in the 90s, Apple in the 2000s, or even Bitcoin in 2010, this is it. a rare second chance. Because in today's special presentation, Wall Street legend Teeka Tiwari, the man who came to America with just $150 in his pockets and went on to correctly pick the last two investments of the decade, months, even years before the so-called experts, will finally reveal his best investment of the next decade. A breakthrough technology set to grow an astonishing 295,000%. In fact, Teeka has gone all in. In the last 2 years alone, he's invested millions of dollars, traveled to 14 countries, flown 300,000 miles, met with 4 different billionaires, all to get the inside track on what he calls Genesis technology.
Genesis is the one investment that will eclipse everything.
When Teeka Tiwari makes a new investment recommendation, people listen. In December 2015, for example, Teeka recommended NVIDIA. It went on to become the #1 stock of 2016. And in the last 3 years, his audited track record, spanning a few dozen different investments, returned an average yearly gain of 154%. That's 10 times better than the S&P 500 at record highs, 81 times the average investor, according to JP Morgan, and even 5 times better than the investing legends Warren Buffett, Bill Gross, and Carl Icahn all put together. Because of Teeka's rare ability to spot big winners, he was recently asked to manage $100 million, but he refused. Instead, Teeka decided to keep doing what he does best, to share his ideas with regular, everyday Americans. Already, Teeka has helped give thousands of people across the world the chance to multiply their money 7, 12, 20, even as much as 140 times over, just by investing in the initial rollout of Genesis technology.
So from that $10,000, it had gone up to $330,000, and we were just amazed.
How can you ever say thank you to someone for literally changing your life that much?
And today, Teeka will pull back the curtain and reveal everything you need to know about this incredible opportunity, including the massive change that just went into effect on January 1st, and that will catapult Genesis into the spotlight and its anticipated 295,762% growth over the next 6 years, creating $8.6 trillion of total newfound wealth. You will also see firsthand the major discovery Teeka recently made in Manhattan, a big change that could be in store for credit cards, as well as the stunning reason our healthcare costs might soon be slashed by half, and with no government intervention needed. So please, sit back, get rid of all distractions, and lock your eyeballs to the screen, because today, former hedge fund manager Teeka Tiwari will finally share the single best way you can turn a small stake into a fortune, and reveal his proprietary $1.6 million blueprint. This is the same blueprint he and several others have used to turn $1,000 into $1 million or more, enabling lifestyles others can only dream of. The 2010s are behind us, and now a new decade is here. Get ready for Teeka Tiwari's next top pick, the #1 investment of the 2020s.
Hi, I'm Teeka Tiwari, and I want to thank you for joining me for this special broadcast, because your timing couldn't be better. Today, you're going to get the inside scoop on a groundbreaking new technology, one that's transforming the entire world around us. Already, companies like FedEx, UPS, Penske are changing the way they ship products behind the scenes because of it. Car manufacturers are quietly spending $30 billion in a race to implement it. It's been called a game changer for utilities, and in one community alone where Suncor tested this invention, people are on track to receive refund checks between $100 and $150 on their power bills. This technology is also set to disrupt the healthcare industry. By some estimates, it could help save 400,000 lives a year and slash healthcare costs for Americans by as much as half, and without the government having to pitch in a cent. Look, I realize this may all sound too good to be true, and as you'll see, there's a reason this technology is different from anything we've seen before. In the past 2 years, I've traveled to 14 different countries. I've flown 300,000 miles, met with 4 billionaires, and I even moved away from the mountain home I love in the Poconos just to get the inside scoop on this innovation. And what I've discovered is that this new technology has already proven so important to our national security that President Trump issued a special executive order on it. Right now, no fewer than 9 different government agencies are working to ensure it reaches its full potential. According to the World Economic Forum, this technology is set to explode 295,762% by 2027. That is huge. And Wall Street is also scrambling to get involved. This is part of the reason I recently traveled to secret meeting rooms in the heart of American finance, in Manhattan, to show you what's been happening behind the scenes, all thanks to this new breakthrough. So you'll want to stay tuned and pay special attention. Because of my track record, I've been called America's #1 investor. And it's an honor, because there are many investing legends I have great respect for. I'm not sure I fully deserve that title. What I will say, though, is this. Today, I'm going to put my track record and reputation on the line once again and reveal what I believe will be the #1 investment of the decade. I have never, in all my time as a Wall Street executive and in more than 3 decades in finance, been so convinced of an investment's potential. Now, while there are no guarantees in life, and certainly anything can happen, I firmly believe this will be the single best place to grow your money in the next 10 years. The equivalent of turning back the clock and buying a few shares of Microsoft back in the 1980s, Amazon in the 90s, Apple in the 2000s, or Bitcoin a few years back. I'm proud and somewhat humbled to say I picked the last 2. So my readers and clients saw firsthand how a single play can turn anyone into a millionaire and set you up for life. This is the opportunity now before us. Your chance to turn a simple $1,000 into $1.6 million or more. But you have to act quickly. Because like past opportunities, this one will run away too. Consider if you invested $1,000 in Amazon back in May of '97. Today you'd have $1.2 million. But get this. If you had just waited 5 months later to put down that same $1,000, today, your stake would only be worth $340,000. That's $850,000 less. And while that's certainly nothing to sneeze at, it shows why it's critical. If you're going to secure your stake in this decade's top investment, you must act decisively. Later, I'll share this investment with you and the exact steps I recommend you take. As you will see, it's a hot new technology set to create $8.6 trillion in new wealth. As I mentioned earlier, the World Economic Forum projects it will grow an astonishing 295,762% over the next 7 years alone. Now, it goes without saying, if you can capture just a fraction of those gains, your life will change dramatically. It could mean the difference between putting off retirement or quitting work early, staying home another winter, or traveling with loved ones to exotic locations.
Yeah. In other words, we're not going to do crap. So the pathway forward at this hour on a new stimulus, according to Mitch McConnell, is that he thinks the $600 was right, and it was targeted, and he says the problem with 2000 is it's not targeted. Sanders, of course, and other Democrats say that they would not consent to finishing the critical veto vote on the $740 billion defense budget. In fact, Senator Josh Hawley, also Republican, says he will not vote on it. Senator Sanders says all that he has to do is give us an up or down vote on the issue of getting $2,000 to every working class adult in this country. Senator Schumer sat down yesterday and just went, was livid at Mitch McConnell for this shenanigans.
Now, on the checks and the $2,000 checks. You know, Senator McConnell knows very well how to make a bill of law, and he knows how to kill a bill. The only way to deliver the $2,000 survival checks to Americans is to pass the bipartisan House-passed bill called the Cash Act. But what we're seeing right now is Leader McConnell trying to kill the checks, the $2,000 checks desperately needed by so many American families, by tying them completely to partisan provisions that have absolutely nothing to do with helping struggling families across the country. It won't pass the House. It cannot become law. A move like this is really a blatant attempt to deprive Americans of the $2,000 survival check. So we can get this done, but Leader McConnell has to get out of the way, allow the House-passed bill on the floor. I'm very confident it will pass if it's put on the floor, and then we can move forward.
So put it up for a vote, Mitch. You have the opportunity to do it. Senator Sanders is not going to budge on this veto for the Defense Authorization Act. So this bill sits there, and other members are joining in with him on this, Republicans and Democrats, to say we are not moving on this. Pass this bill.
Morning, Sergio.
And we'll, maybe we'll see that this afternoon. That's the goal. Get it done before the new year. Keep them in session. That's what Senator Sanders wants. Here he is, fired up at Mitch McConnell.
We should all be very, very clear. The working class of this country today faces more economic desperation than at any time since the Great Depression of the 1930s.
Is this yesterday or today?
And working families need help now. Not next year, but right now. Last night, the House of Representatives, with a 2/3 majority, 275 to 134, 2/3 bipartisan vote, moved to increase the direct payment going to working families from $600 per adult to $2,000 per adult. The House did the right thing. I congratulate them, and now it is time for the Senate to step up to the plate and do what the working families of this country overwhelmingly want us to do.
He went on to say there's a very simple solution to this dilemma. Leader McConnell, bring both measures up for a vote. Let the chips fall where they may. The defense bill and the checks for the American families. What's so hard about that? What's so hard about that, Mitch? Senator John Cornyn, of course, predicted the Senate would follow the House and override Trump's veto of the defense bill, calling it a matter of how long people want to extend this out. I think we know how this outcome is going to come to be. Cornyn told reporters, as I always say, we can do it the hard way or the easy way, and frequently we choose the hard way.
He's trying to get his liability.
President Trump, of course, vetoed the defense bill over his push to repeal those legal shields.
His liability law in
legislation in there, of course, that would
so
remove
if you
the
caught
names
COVID
of Confederate generals from different military
from your
bases,
job, you couldn't sue your job.
Which is amazing.
That's what this is all about with Mitch.
The biggest traitors in American history.
He doesn't want us to be in a position of power
named after them.
To defend ourselves.
They started their own country, and we have military bases named after them? Does that make sense? And so the military agreed. Repeal those names. President vetoed that. So now we're sitting on this defense bill waiting.
That's why he had his friend act yesterday
etc., and of course
put the bug in his ear. Hey, talk to them about the liability.
Needs to be spent. Funneling money to military-industrial complex.
Open to
so we're sitting on that.
Add liability into it?
So McConnell then teed up the votes to override the veto, and that's not going to happen. So that's going to slip into the new year. And sadly, for a number of those special military pay and benefits would also temporarily expire after today.
Hello,
if
sir.
this
Hello.
bill is not in the books by then.
3 7s. Jackpot.
So unless senators
agree
to hold this vote sooner, maybe today, then these military benefits will not lapse. They need 60 votes in order to pass this thing. The House already voted on this, 322 to 87, to override the veto. And they overwhelmingly passed this Cash Act to bring $2,000 to the American people.
So what's the problem?
Bernie goes on. I love how fired up he gets here.
Madam President, as a result of the pandemic, tens of millions of Americans have lost their jobs and their incomes. These families in the middle of the winter now face the threat of eviction and the possibility of being thrown out in the streets. Hunger in America is at the highest level that it has been for decades, with moms and dads struggling to feed their kids and working families lining up mile after mile to get emergency food packages. We are even seeing an increase in grocery store shoplifting as desperate Americans try to keep their families from going hungry. All of this taking place in the wealthiest country in the history of the world.
Yeah, this was yesterday.
Madam President, over the last number of years, as I think everybody in America knows, Congress has provided massive tax breaks for the very wealthiest people in our country.
I just want to specifically...
Which is one of the reasons why today we have more income and wealth inequality than any time since the 1920s. In fact, in the midst of this pandemic, this terrible pandemic, inequality has grown worse, with many in the billionaire class seeing their wealth increase by hundreds of billions of dollars, while average Americans struggle to put food on the table. Congress has given huge tax breaks for large corporations, so that some of the most profitable and largest corporations in America today pay zero in federal income taxes. We have just passed the largest military budget in the history of our country, $740 billion, more than the next 10 nations combined. And by the way, there was almost no debate about the size of that huge budget. Trump's veto dealt with other issues. Meanwhile, over 500,000 Americans are homeless. Half of our working families are struggling to survive paycheck to paycheck. And in the midst of this terrible, unprecedented pandemic, over 90 million Americans are uninsured or underinsured in the midst of a pandemic, and they're not sure whether they can afford to go to a doctor.
How much of what he just said is you? Unable to go to the doctor. You know, like Tammy, one of our viewers this morning, just wrote us and she said, look, I have to skip everyday medication. So instead of taking my meds every day, I have to ration it and not take it tomorrow. I'll take it today and I'll skip every other day. No other industrialized country lives like this. Go to Canada, providing $2,000 a month for its people, subsidizing its wages. Go to Japan, 100% of their wages are subsidized, while they've been asking their businesses to stay home. Oh, and by the way, they just passed another big stimulus. And Japan has a population of about 20 million people. Not a small population. A third of the United States. So it's not a tiny little country. It's a real country. Canada, UK, Norway, Spain, Portugal, Germany, Denmark, Sweden, Finland, Italy, Australia, New Zealand, taking care of its people, subsidizing its wages, making sure that their people are okay while they rid this country or their countries of this pandemic. And we can't do it. We got breaking news just a moment ago. Senator Ron Johnson, who you'll remember a few days ago got in a huge battle with Bernie Sanders on the floor of the Senate, speaking live just a few moments ago on why he will not support $2,000 stimulus checks this morning. Again, Ron Johnson from Wisconsin speaking just a few moments ago. Let's listen.
I just want to specifically understand what your objection is to this. It could be that it's just such a big number to saddle our children with that you don't want to do it, or it could be that it's going to people that haven't been as impacted. It's not targeted.
Why don't you let him answer the question? Why are you feeding him? Why are you feeding him questions, feeding him answers? You know, Ron Johnson the other day on the Senate, by the way, said, I don't want to mortgage my children's future by passing larger stimulus. But he's okay with passing massive defense budgets that go to countries around the world. All of that goes to countries around the world.
Yeah, they don't care that they're out there.
People. Let's say there was a way.
They don't care that they're out there creating people who want to hurt America because we're over there hurting everybody. That's fine. We don't care about their defense, their what would you call that? Safety. We care about their debt.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And you're worried about you're mortgaging your children's futures. I got an idea. How about the people right now? What about the future? They're not going to have a future. I mean, we're seeing kids falling behind in math and reading and science and so forth because they're not getting the experience they need going to school. You know, virtual learning cannot substitute for in-class learning. It cannot. You're mortgaging your children's future already.
To get that 2,000 just to the people that were really in need. Would you be for it at that point, or you just are going to be against it because of adding to the deficit no matter what?
No, you just explained the reasons. It's not targeted. It's add another $464 billion onto our already enormous debt that's out of control and unsustainable. And so the fact that we've had 9 months to take a look at what happened with the last stimulus checks, by the way, about 18% of that was spent on essential items. The rest was spent on either non-essential items or paying off debt or additional savings. So it certainly wasn't stimulative. I certainly want to help people that are financially struggling through no.
Oh, yeah, you really do. By the way, everything you just labeled there was stimulative. People paying off debt is stimulative. People paying for groceries is stimulative. People putting money in savings was stimulative. You know why? They put it there because people put it there because they didn't know whether the next check was ever going to come. So when they got that $1,200 check, they used $500 of it to pay off debt, a few hundred of it to buy groceries. They put $500 in savings, and guess what? They burned through it over the past few months because they can't depend on this federal government. They cannot depend on the United States government because it's a total failure.
We would.
It's a failed state. And people like Ron Johnson
good last
are to
day in
blame.
2020. You as well, partner.
Fall their own because of COVID. It's one of the reasons I voted for the $2.2 trillion CARES Act. We've now appropriated, we've authorized about $4 trillion of aid, but we did it in a shotgun approach. And we don't have an unlimited checking account. We're $27.5 trillion in debt. By the end of this fiscal year, it'll be over $29 trillion. And I keep hearing $2,000 checks. If you have a family of 4, it'll be an $8,000 check. Family of 5, $10,000 check. And many of those individuals have been working. They're getting a paycheck. They're not financially struggling. Why would we be giving checks to people that truly don't need it? So, again, we should have gone back to the drawing board. We should have really targeted this relief.
How do you know they don't need it? Again, look at all of what my viewers this morning. Look, Mara Barnes, I'll tell you what is not stimulating. Having debt. Right? Eliminating debt allows you to, the freedom to be able to go out and spend. If you're sitting there saddled with debt because of COVID, many people have had to run up their credit card bills because of COVID. Pay their utility bills on their credit cards. They've had to buy groceries on their credit cards. So, yes, big deal. Like in other countries that have actually provided, $7,000, $8,000 in stimulus, like in France, to families, it's kept them afloat. It's kept them at home, number one, because their businesses are closed, but it's been incredibly stimulating to the economy. And it's kept other businesses open. So people can go and pay for groceries and pay for takeout food because they can't go to a restaurant, and it keeps that restaurant in business. People can't afford anything right now. The federal government, again, is fine just sitting there pumping money to all of these big companies. Ron Johnson was fine mortgaging your future by signing a $740 billion defense budget. He was fine with the last COVID bill.
Wait around for the answer.
Bailout for Wall Street. He was fine with that. But now the chance that some family might actually get some money that could help them, and they might not be as in pain as the family next door, we really want to means test this. We really want to focus on the targeting. Where was your targeting when you were funneling billions of dollars to billionaires and millionaires? Where was your targeting when Mitch McConnell's wife was getting hundreds of thousands of dollars in COVID relief? Where was your targeting when Senator Ted Cruz and his fracking special interests got tens of millions of dollars in loans in Texas? Where was your targeting then? Now you're concerned about it? I love the hypocrisy. There's one thing I enjoy and hate at the same time. It's watching these senators just lie through their teeth, forgetting that just a few months ago they were totally fine with a fire hose of money going out to big businesses in Wall Street. I'm telling you, there is a reckoning coming in this country. I want to thank all of you for subscribing to my channel. If you're new here, please subscribe right down here. We're the only progressive morning news show on the web with a live audience covering the issues that you will not see on CNN, MSNBC, any of the other major news networks. You will not see it covering these issues. So I'm sorry, Ron Johnson, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Please keep telling me how America's future is and how you cannot send stimulus for all of us.
By the way, people are already going to get, a family of four is going to get $2,400 in the relief bill that was just passed. It was a $900 billion relief package. So, it's just the lack of targeting, the lack of
fucking reality
consideration given to mortgaging our children's future by another $464 billion. I know it sounds good, it feels good to give away money. Everybody loves benefits. Somebody's got to be thinking about how the effect of this on our future generations.
Shut up.
Yeah, Ellen on our screen here right now. Ellen Brown says, "Good morning. I just can't believe they really, really believe that $600 is enough to help people. It's insane." Do you let me know in the chat? We'll put it up right here on the screen. If you're watching right now, if you're a channel member, let me know. Cassandra Carr, what can we do about this? We can't just keep talking to ourselves. It does nothing. We need to send them all home. Yes, Cassandra. If you watch my show, you know that we are supporting progressive candidates. We're going to be putting together a nice list for you. So in your state, in your municipality,
I didn't know that you didn't know.
Progressive candidates that stand for you, working class Americans, the backbone of this country, Medicare for all, getting rid of student loan debt in this country, increasing the federal minimum wage, eliminating these foreign wars, bringing troops home, reducing this massive military budget that funnels billions of dollars around the world. So we will be putting a list together of progressive candidates that I want you to be able to support in your backyard. Throw these people out. Get rid of these people like Ron Johnson that are all backed by special interests, big corporate money. And by the way, the biggest propagandists in all of this are the mainstream media. The mainstream media loves to perpetuate this narrative. So if you're supporting, CNN or MSNBC or any of the conservative news networks, any of them, Bloomberg and Newsmax and Fox, and if you're watching that stuff, you're being spoon-fed, okay? And really, so by you helping to support our show and independent journalism here at Morning Invest, you're helping to spread this word. So please, if you don't want to subscribe, or if you're not a fan of becoming a channel member, fine. All I ask of you is to just hit that share button, the little arrow. Share it out on your Facebook. Share it out on Twitter.
Share it out on your PlayStation.
Who you think might need to hear this, because it starts with all of you to make this change. That's why I do this show. That's why we do this show every morning.
That's why I add it to my show every morning.
Angel, thank you for your super chat. Clayton or David, my husband and I made $40,000 last year. Got our stimulus last night. It was $1,020. Someone screwed up, and now I have to fight to fix it. Yeah, this is another thing. So people get the stimulus, and it's screwed up. Then they have to try to get on the phone with the IRS. Have you ever tried to call the IRS?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. What a pain in the butt that is.
Oh, yeah.
Aletta Scott says, I don't go anywhere, can't afford on anything, on $753 a month in Social Security and taking care of two homeless sons and a granddaughter. I can't do it. My electric is going to be cut off, and I can't pay my water and sewage. So, Senator Ron Johnson, do you see Aletta Scott? Do you see Aletta? I hope you saw what she just had to say.
The case has been made that we need to, the Fed, politicians, policymakers need to do.
His show, in addition to one other show that's topping on trending information as far as stimulus, him and one other YouTuber him and one other YouTuber are like the only probability. They have the high probability of these people, the politicians, actually hearing them and the people that support them, because he knows many of them. He's interviewed many of them. And the other one, because he's popular and trending by way of YouTube, a lot of people are using him as reference point for what, points he's making about this whole situation. But can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Good. Well, I might switch over to Sprint. But Sprint to the motherfucking goddamn starting line, because I can't hear your engine. You dig? Put some bass in your tires, man. I like that. That was a good one. That was a good one. They can't barely hear you. Put some bass in your voice. Yeah, all right. I was just, being, a little passive as I'm talking to Santa Claus. I really didn't want to put bass in my voice when I was talking to Santa Claus. Leave me alone.
More and not necessarily worry as much about whether it gets exactly where it needs to go, but just sort of, as you said, use a shotgun approach. Is it better to err on the side of frugality when some people will not be helped, or would it be better to...
This is the mainstream media's way of asking this question, the most important question of all. Is it, to err on the side of frugality during this time? Why don't you just come out and say it? Spit it out. Senator, are you crazy? Here's how I would ask that question. Senator, you just spent billions of dollars shotgunning money out to the military-industrial complex. All of your big businesses on Wall Street got billions of dollars in bailouts. And you're going to sit there and tell me that you're worried about mortgaging your children's future because a few families who might not have suffered as much as their neighbor might get a little bit of money extra? That's what you're concerned about? Now's the time to be frugal?
What you're concerned about is an if? Just get 35, sir.
Now, Senator, will you
get your practice on right now.
And where are they even getting that money? Or that
Gamefly had a game there or some fly shit come Monday.
They just pull it out of their butt because there's nothing
it's good
showing
talking points.
Yeah.
There's good talking points. Again, that's why I keep asking this question of our viewers this morning.
Or maybe later on today.
Okay, you might not have lost your job. Right, so that's what these senators are saying right now. These senators are saying, so we're going to send money to people that didn't lose their jobs? That's the only metric that they're talking about. But what they don't know is exactly what most of these people who are watching right now at the bottom of my screen are commenting live here are telling us, which is that they didn't lose their job, but they've had their hours cut by 24 hours, and they've had to switch off one husband, wife, switching back and forth so that their kids can stay home and do virtual learning. But guess what? The government doesn't have access to that data, so they don't know. And that's what these senators are talking about. And yes, sure, some of them can file for some unemployment benefits based on reduced hours in the state where they are, if they're lucky.
Well, and the only way we can send any kind of message is to start a campaign online, something to put it back in their face. Like, there's no way for us to communicate.
Crash, I need you to join me in reality.
For instance, when people were fighting the soap.
Reality of the matter is, I don't have force. So what you texting about, sir? I told you, get the damn bread right, get right, and I will set you right. Otherwise, you just filling up my commentary section with frivolous comments that just, you know, really don't matter right now, man. You give the gift that keeps giving. Get the game, man. Biker Boy movie quotes and shit. Hey, Buck. Ooh, what's going on? Smoke good, work hard. He said, fuck Crash. Broke away. Oh, damn. Y'all ninjas got smoked? Crash was just talking about the smoke. See, you sparked something. A little flame. But please, gentlemen, out of respect for me, please, save that for y'all streams. It's the last day of the 2020. I don't want to throw on the referee shirt and none of that. Y'all both my ninjas. It hurts me to see that y'all ain't getting along. I don't know what the problem is. I don't even need to know. Shit. We were having a problematic free environment and shit. I just looked up at the clock. I should be shutting this down right now. But it's still open. We politicking. And he said, Buck, unban me. Never. But there you have it. The man, you know, he ain't finna unban you. I don't know what y'all got going on. And I ain't finna get in between any of that. But, Buck, how the motherfuckers zero gravity shit, bruh? Huh? How you and the fam doing? Crash, you lucky we getting along. Ladies and gentlemen, it's nice. That's what's up. Yeah. You know. Now I know I just downloaded the One Close Legion last night. Alright, about to check it out. Okay. I appreciate the civility. We good, Grave. Roger that. We always good, man. It's a Duce and motherfucking 1738 collaboration out this bitch. It's always been. Ain't nothing finna come between that, and we cool. We always been cool. Happy New Year to you and your family. And you and your family as well. Yeah. And if I was you, Crash, I'd put that Legions to the side and practice on that dirt. Because that dirt 5 gonna be here any moment. I'm a live stream showing you how to drive. So yes, be prepared for that. Don't be prepared to text too much. You know what I mean? And it's all good. I appreciate y'all civility. Thank you, gentlemen. I got enough going on. And Buck. Ooh, I sat with you for a second, man. And I hear you, man. I hear you. Make a lot of valid points, sir. Aside from the disgruntlement. And disgruntlement is disgruntlement. But aside from disgruntlement, you know, have that. You made some real solid points. I swear for God. You know, and just know this, and I said points, there's an S at the end of that, but just know this, hey nigga on the stimulus ain't bumming, man. Hey nigga on the stimulus ain't bumming. I happen to go with the goddamn situation this and the year before last. Right, I've been good. They been talking about a nigga bum this, bum that. Oh, where the 1090, where the taxes at? Woo. We know we street. But you know the family have you turn the streets in for the family. So I've been on the fam thing. I ain't flipping packs, none of that. You know what I mean? I ain't plugging. If anything, you know what I'm saying, I plug somebody in when they get here. You know what I'm saying? Touristic type shit. You know, that's it. Tour guide member and all that. You know. But that shit is real in my life. That shit is real in my field right now. You dig me? And these ninjas need to go ahead and cough up the damn bread. So, just saying. I heard you. And I've heard others. You know what I'm saying? And I know y'all getting that Captain Donut. Right? Yeah. So, you know. So groovy. But some of us real in the field with it, you know, and they doing us dirty. They doing us greasy. So we holding up for the good fight. For that bag. For that real bag. I'm out here texting, calling senators, all sorts of shit. Boy ain't never been so politically active in his motherfucking life. You hear me? And it feels good to be a part of the actual struggle. You dig? These other motherfuckers sitting around just, you know, I don't know. You know, nigga got a job cleaning out the commodes and shit. Whatever. I ain't finna knock nobody for what job they got or don't. Quite honestly. Workforce member, unemployed, trapper. Hey, look. Take a real hard stare. I'm my brother's keeper. Yeah. You know, and I know, and I think everybody else know too. I don't rock with some. I don't rock with a couple of these ninjas, because every brother ain't your brother. And that's another off that S of points that I will bring about. I heard you. I was listening. I said, Sat back, went, checked off on every PowerPoint you made. Yup. But we knew that. Been saying that. That's old information to the dude saying 1738. That's new information to them for people to, you know, observe while motherfuckers putting on this fake facade, nitpicking and taking this, that, and that from these people here and whatever looks good and works good to make it presentable for them. You know, it's put together shit. You know, I know. But, here we are on the last day of 2020. And please tell me, man. You know I'm always all ears. You know I come in the party, I'm talking. Like, where's the progression at? Where's the progression? Real ninjas make real moves, man. Tay, what's good, man? One of my ninjas in my circles are circles. I ain't need all y'all from here. Me and Buddy known each other for the last 12 years, 13 years now. He know me from Xbox. Kind of like how me and the Jillers knew each other. We can knock the S off that. I really just knew Ken. And you got to witness what happened with all that. So, shout out to Houdini. May he rest in peace, friends. How many of us have them? You know, real things happen with real people. 7 years time, man, you got to get something. 5, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. You got to learn something in a year. So, I just want, you know what I'm saying? Give you that official, you know, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. Aside from the disgruntlement. And I respect the disgruntlement. I mean, who the fuck we sitting here talking to? A nigga that everybody done tried their disgruntlement issue with. Dan there. Whole 70% of them. So, I hear you. And salute, man. Salute, man. Happy New Year's to you and the fam as well, brother. I ain't get called out. That fake money out. I'm not, I missed all of that. I don't know nothing about that. I'm talking about how you were saying certain individuals, their only narrative, their only end game be to be a clown, put others down, like that. Just that whole vibe, that whole mention. You know, that's applicable to a lot. You know me, I like to keep it cryptic, coded and shit. You ain't gotta mention names, you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. You know, because as you say, you know, they crying and waiting, they crying and waiting to tell and report. I'll be damned if I'm gonna start throwing fish flakes in the water. You did. They already fishing. That's why I've kept things the way I do. And I appreciate how you and son, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Y'all, hey, grown man shit, man. I know what it is here. Neither one of y'all don't know what what it ain't over here. So I appreciate that. That's what's up. Because even that's throwing fish flakes in the water. You know? I've always done that, man. And that's why. So that it's just singled out to us having civil conversations, experience to the best of our ability, minus the disgruntlement, chilling, building, learning. Each one teach one, helping, you know what I'm saying, moving forward. Salutations and greetings and all that, you know. They just don't like it, but they here, so they like it. Niggas fucked up early on knowing how to involve because they overdid it, they OD'd. So now they drugged. Shit, man. I ain't finna, I gave people chances, man. I ain't finna be buddy-buddy with somebody that's gonna try to constantly put a knife in my back. Or that's gonna hop out the window just over some jokes and whatnot and try to make it all something extra or what it shouldn't be. Thank you, babe. Hit him with the peace sign one time.
Where's the... Ooh, up close.
Damn.
Where's this hat thing?
What, the hat rack thing? I think in that corner off and to the left, or it might be in your stuff, because I never kept it. In fact, I told you to take it.
I never took it. It's down.
Oh, so, I don't even really remember what it looks like. It's like those white boards, right? The foldable boards. If you put them somewhere, I don't remember putting them anywhere. I ain't finna speak on that man's behalf. Me and him done had our roads as well. So, and we just, it was like this week. I don't want to say got back cool, but we just started reassociation. It must be the holidays. The holidays brings people out of their shells a lot. I noticed that. Myself included. I think they're in your closet. No? You checked? They're in here?
They're in here because I never took them out.
Well, it must be in here with my extra drone battery that I can't find. And I'll do a year-end special last search for the two matters. Might be down there. Is that them? Yeah, I got got people that dislike me for so many reasons, and they want me to give such a damn. Buck, you know how many times I've been ratted out? I lost count, partner. And it's all derived from telling the truth. I don't need to put no lies together for none of y'all on the conversation if we at that level of conversation. They do. At that level of conversation, they always incorporating lies and all this other fake shit. But just a little year-end thought, and like I said, you know what I'm saying? Just some streamer to streamer, 1738 to do say member confirmation, man. Your words didn't fall on deaf ears. I hear you. All right. What I have to say is it's a downright shame. We have not gotten past that though. No? People sitting in here right now with us, guilty as hell. That's why I said we ain't gotta mention no names. These type of conversations find their homes. They find their homes in the minds and the ears, in between the motherfucking ears into the minds that they need to. Motherfuckers sit and listen for a reason. But back to some of this reasoning, because I need to gather some for myself. I need to, you know, map out my role. And this ain't nothing but my morning digesting what I've been on. You know what I'm saying? What I give for the people then. But happy holidays to everybody. Last day of 2020. Thank yourself for being up to be a part of it. And anybody that's texted up thus far in these 2 hours, much respect and salute to you. All proper involvement. No clown shit. Mm-hmm. We got the government trying to clown people's motherfuckers' entire future and all of next year. I think we could hold off on the clown shit for a minute though. But to each his own. You know. Alright though. And again, good looking. That's how we do.
And Pippa Bill, and people were commenting on the website and letting them know what they thought, and they're like, oh, those are bots. It was hacked. Okay. So even if you did have a way to go somewhere and tell them how you feel without starting a
show every morning. Insane Angel, thank you for your super chat. Clayton or David, my husband and I made $40,000 last year. Got our stimulus last night. It was $1,020. Someone screwed up, and now I have to fight to fix it. Yeah, this is another thing. So people get their stimulus and it's screwed up. Then they have to try to get on the phone with the IRS. Have you ever tried to call the IRS? Oh my God. What a pain in the butt that is. Aletta Scott says, I don't go anywhere, can't afford on anything. On $753 a month in Social Security and taking care of two homeless sons and a granddaughter, I can't do it. My electric is going to be cut off, and I can't pay my water and sewage. So, Senator Ron Johnson, do you see Aletta Scott? Do you see Aletta? I hope you saw what she just had to say.
Yeah, the case has been made that we need to, the Fed, politicians, policymakers need to do more and not necessarily worry as much about whether it gets exactly where it needs to go, but just sort of, as you said, use a shotgun approach. Is it better to err on the side of frugality when some people will not be helped? Or would it be better to...
This is the mainstream media's way of asking this question, the most important question of all. Is it, to err on the side of frugality during this time? Why don't you just come out and say it? Spit it out. Senator, are you crazy? Here's how I would ask that question. Senator, you just spent billions of dollars shotgunning money out to the military-industrial complex. All of your big businesses on Wall Street got billions of dollars in bailouts. And you're going to sit there and tell me that you're worried about mortgaging your children's future because a few families who might not have suffered as much as their neighbor might get a little bit of money extra? That's what you're concerned about? Now's the time to be frugal? This is the first time in your career you're being frugal, Senator? Now, Senator, will you answer that question?
And where are they even getting that money? Like, or that data? Where in the heck does that data come from? Is that just, they just pull it out of their butt? Because there's nothing
it's good
showing
talking
them.
Points.
Yeah.
There's good talking points. Again, that's why I keep asking this question of our viewers this morning. Like, okay, you might not have lost your job, right? So that's what these senators are saying right now. These senators are saying, so we're going to send money to people that didn't lose their jobs? That's the only metric that they're talking about. But what they don't know is exactly what most of these people who are watching right now at the bottom of my screen are commenting live here are telling us, which is that they didn't lose their job, but they've had their hours cut by 24 hours, and they've had to switch off one husband, wife, switching back and forth so that their kids can stay home and do virtual learning. But guess what? The government doesn't have access to that data, so they don't know. And that's what these senators are talking about. And yes, sure, some of them can file for some unemployment benefits based on reduced hours in the state where they are, if they're lucky.
Well, and the only way we can send any kind of message is to start a campaign online, something to put it back in their face. Like, there's no way for us to communicate this, and it's like they're not gonna. For instance, when people were fighting the SOPA and PIPA bill, and people were commenting on the website and letting them know what they thought, and they're like, "Oh, those are bots. It was hacked." So even if you did have a way to go somewhere and tell them how you feel without starting petition, like they have no idea what people are going through. Like, if they came in here and watched this chat for 5 minutes, they'd be like, "Oh, these are all bots. This isn't really happening. This isn't real."
Yeah, this is all fake. Yeah, and by the way, these are all channel members commenting right now. If you're a channel member in our chat today, Becky Medved,
who the fuck would tell
hours
themselves
cut,
that?
family moved in, more expenses, and her hours were cut. Guess what? She's still employed. So you shouldn't send her a stimulus check. She's now supporting other families. She's now had her hours cut. Dolores Smith says, fighting to keep my hours. I'm single, no other income. Nikki Dawn says, I haven't gotten mine either. I'm going to need a lot more than $600, though. Laura says, it's like the bank telling me you have money, but you can't use it.
Shit, bots in the economy.
Mark Goodwin says, I lost my truck, and now I'm dependent on others to go to the store. Yeah, couldn't pay. So you can't pay your car loan anymore, so you lose your car. These guys have no idea what pain you're dealing with.
None.
Dawn Williams says, I owed $1,200 in taxes from 2019. I paid it off in November. I just got a bill saying I haven't paid them and added interest. I can't get through to them. An automated system hangs up on me.
Yep.
The IRS. Greatest country in the world.
They shut their door. They shut their portal.
Greatest country in the world, we keep hearing, right, buddy? Do you think this is the greatest country in the world? It's a failed state right now. It's a failed state. And all of these people that are suffering, Ron Johnson doesn't.
Hi, it's Sam Barker here from the Motley School. Behind me is Landmark Mall.
Completely failed state.
Or what used to be.
I don't know why it keeps doing that. Keeps switching the Bluetooth from my phone back and forth to the laptop. Give me a second. There we go. sound messing up?
For decades, with moms and dads.
At an interest, I can't get through to them. An automated system hangs up on me.
That's his.
Greatest
That's on
country
his
in the world.
That's on his end.
Greatest country in the world. We keep hearing, right, buddy? Do you think this is the greatest country in the world? It's a failed state right now.
And
it's a failed state. And all of these people that are suffering, and Ron Johnson doesn't.
For the last 3 days, they've been doing that to him. His audio get cut off. When he speaks about the military, it's happened two different times. He was talking about it the last time. They don't like him informing people. So all this is audio shit. I'm gonna see what he says when he gets back on. People should be ending the year rejoicing, to say the least. Let me see where the audio comes back.
Crew. Is the epitome of a D.
Is R2D2? You see that picture though, Clayton? You are sitting here making fun of it. You see that picture though, Clayton?
Ted Cruz's Georgia runoff.
I'll let it play. Yeah, they're shadow banning him. They're fucking with his channel, bro.
No, I'm working on it. We dropped audio somehow.
No.
Somehow.
No.
Okay, we're back. We're back.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. Glitch in the Matrix, everyone. Glitch in the Matrix.
We're back. All right, we got sound again. Live television.
Start with that clip again. Okay, they didn't hear that clip, so start with that again.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all right. I don't want to waste your time with that. Basically talking about Georgia, he's asking about, a lot of people don't think that, a lot of the different senators, Wall Street Journal and others think that, hey, this isn't good for the race in Georgia, the Georgia runoff down there. That there's a big issue in Georgia because the president wanted to throw $2,000 stimulus checks into this mix, and guess what? Now it's screwing them over because Mitch McConnell won't pass stimulus. Yeah, it's going to screw them over. I seriously think that Mitch McConnell's decision right here to not bring stimulus to the floor of the Senate, the $2,000 stimulus checks, just lost the election for Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue in Georgia. Let's watch. I mean, the amount of money that's being spent down there right now, people donating money left and right, so many people donating money that even our good friend Ted Cruz is raking in some money. So here's a pretty fascinating story this morning. Ted Cruz's Georgia runoff fundraising is actually going to his campaign. And he's not alone. This is reporting from the Daily Beast. This is amazing. So Senator Ted Cruz, throwing himself behind this, what's going on down there in Georgia. He's been running Facebook ads. A handful of Facebook ads. He's asking you to donate money to the Georgia runoff race. He's running 15 separate ads over the past 2 weeks, each featuring a video of the senator dramatically hyping the need to hold these 2 U.S. Senate seats in Georgia. He says the gun-grabbing tax hikes, open borders, and stacking the Supreme Court, that's the radical Democrat agenda if they win the Georgia Senate elections, Cruz declared. He's asking for $5 contributions to keep Georgia red. He's calling it the Keep Georgia Red Fund. But if you read the fine print, all of that money goes to Ted Cruz.
Hey, but did
Texas.
You see that picture, though, Clayton? You are sitting here making fun of a true patriot.
Oh, that's true. Yes, Ted Cruz. I mean, you know, here's a guy who sleeps with the American flag every night. This greasy son of a gun. He's telling you to donate money to help keep Georgia red. True patriot. When you donate money, though, it doesn't go to them at all. It goes directly to Ted Cruz. Like, I can think of no sleazier politician than Ted Cruz. This guy is a huge D.
Come on, man.
You know, I always say don't be a D. It's my only rule in my family with my kids. Don't be a D. Don't be a dick. That's it. Right? And
They cut him again. This shit's skipping. He's been too progressive. It's making too much sense. This is what happens.
There's two types of people. Don't be a D. Ted Cruz is the epitome of a D.
Is R2-D2 in your home? I swear I just heard R2-D2.
R2-D2 lives here. He is my ringtone, or he's my text message ringtone. I'm getting a lot of people that are sending me kind birthday messages today, saying happy birthday. So I didn't have my phone over there is not on silent mode. So thank you to all of my friends who are watching the show right now and wishing me a happy birthday. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
I just thought it was funny because that's your same text tone. That's my text notification as well.
Is it really?
Yeah.
R2?
Yep.
I had one friend that I had programmed as Chewy, so I knew it was him every time he would send me a message. Here's another amazing story this morning. We covered this in the newsletter this morning. If you are a free member of our newsletter, you can get it delivered to your inbox first thing every morning by going to morninginvest.com. You can read it over your cup of coffee in the morning, and it's totally free. One of the stories that we covered is what the Pentagon wants you to think. You know, if you watch my show for any length of time, you know this is a progressive morning show. I am a progressive. What does that mean? That means that I believe in helping the American worker. I believe in that we are only as strong as the weakest among us, meaning no one in our country should be without health care. That we should not be saddled with student loan debt. We should not be killing brown people in countries all over the world. We should be reinvesting that money back at home. That's what I believe. So, in the United States, the way that they fool you on mainstream media, like when you turn into your favorite mainstream media television station, they're going to be spooking you and scaring you about all of these foreign countries, that they're coming after you. You know, it was Russia, right? Russia's coming after you. China's coming after you. Iran is coming after you. North Korea is coming for you.
Well, Iran won't be coming for us since we're, warning them.
Oh, yeah, now, so now we're warning them this morning, because yesterday we sent 2 B-52 bombers to fly over the Persian Gulf, just to show them that we got some strength. Don't put a boot in your ass.
Well, they got to spend that military budget somehow, man.
Exactly. And we need a boogeyman, because that's only how this works. Like, if we don't have anybody that we don't consider enemies, then we don't need to spend this money. But we can't help you, right? We can't help give you stimulus checks, because we've got to make sure that we're strong against Iran. We can't give you $2,000 stimulus checks because we need to do crap like this. This was a 30-hour flight, round-trip mission to the Middle East. Took off from an air base in Minot, North Dakota, and they were refueled in flight. Do you know how many millions of dollars it costs, by the way, to refuel airplanes in mid-flight? So we need to do this to show Iran that we're tough.
Iran, who has no way of reaching us, no way at all of reaching us here in the United States.
This is the anniversary of the killing of Iran's top military leader, Soleimani.
Right.
The mission was the second this month over the Persian Gulf. It highlights Washington's increasing concerns about the possible Iranian retaliation. And then here, this is the mainstream media, right? Oh, Kristen Miller says, it cost over $100,000 just to fuel one of those planes. Unbelievable. But here, this is how the mainstream media, folks, and further clarification on this story, General, is it important for us to be showing our military might over Iran? Yes, it is. This is a big concern. Iran is one of our biggest threats. So we need to be spending as much money as possible. So here, this is how they do it. Look at this quote. It's the first quote in this article. The United States, it says, continues to deploy combat-ready capabilities to the U.S. Central Command area of responsibility to deter any potential adversary and make clear that we are ready and able to respond to any aggression directed at Americans or our interests. General Frank McKenzie. He says, we do not seek conflict, but no one should underestimate our ability to defend our forces or to act decisively in response to any attack. Trump tweeted on Tuesday, some friendly health advice to Iran. If one American is killed, I will hold Iran responsible. Think it over, he tweeted. There's your new boogeyman. Add it to the list. Russia, China, North Korea, Iran.
And unfortunately, there are people, like Pepe over on Facebook, there's people that buy into this. That buy into what we're doing, missing the point. This is to protect troops in that country. Protect them from what?
Yeah? Really? Right. What are we protecting them?
Well, I think Clayton's internet might have just crashed.
See?
So, hey everyone. Clayton's internet, maybe the internet is like, you know what, Clayton? It's New Year's Eve. You need to go celebrate your birthday. So, go away. Go celebrate. Hey, he's back. Boy, where'd you go, birthday boy?
I don't know, man. I think, the military-industrial complex doesn't like me talking about this stuff.
They're gonna kill his internet. Kill it. Hurry. He's making sense.
It's true. I mean, seriously, the past 2 times that I've talked about this waste of money by the military-industrial complex, no sound suddenly on my channel. And we freeze up and it goes away.
See.
So I'm sorry, I was responding to Pepe over on Facebook who says, I'm missing the point, dude. That this is to protect troops in that country. Guess they don't matter.
Why are troops in that country anyway? Troops shouldn't be in there.
We don't have troops in Iran. And why do we have 900 military bases around the world? Have you asked yourself that question? To flex our muscles around the world? For what? What is it getting the American people? What is it creating for us? What is it helping you, the American worker? The people who are suffering? I love that President Trump tweets about if one American is killed at the hands of Iran, I will make you regret it.
Which means
okay, how many thousands of people died from COVID this morning?
You boys better be ready. We might have war here.
1,000 Americans that have now died from this disease. Businesses, hundreds of thousands of businesses have shut. People can't pay their bills. But we need to flex our muscles and spend $100,000 just to fly an airplane over Iran. Wake up, people.
Well, and combine
Wake
it.
up.
How many people die from prescribed medications? How many people die from heart disease? How many people are dying because they don't have any health insurance and they can't get preventative care? Total that all up. And let's combat that. Let's treat that like a terrorist.
Right. Someone said the other day, and I thought it was really powerful, this idea of a foreign adversary attacking us. Imagine Iran suddenly launches a massive war against the United States. And we've been in this bloody war now for a year, and we've lost 340,000 Americans. And we saw it every day. We saw the bloodshed. We saw this bloody war before our eyes every day. I mean, what would we do? And that's exactly what we're dealing with right now in the form of this pandemic. But it's so, you know, we were having a discussion about this last night, my wife and I, because the data on the 1918 Spanish flu and the pandemic is fascinating. The reason that there was such awareness about it is because people didn't go to hospitals. They were basically dying in their homes. So people saw it front and center. They saw the 1918 Spanish, the flu that was killing so many people. It was right there front and center. Here now, we ship people off. It's like a cloistered environment. They're under plastic. They're out of sight, out of mind. Oh, it doesn't affect me. It's not really important. I don't get to see it. It's not on the nightly news every night. President Trump basically been hiding information. They've stopped any kinds of press conferences about it. It's not front and center. Businesses closed. People can't pay their bills. Rental assistance. I mean, people are being evicted. They don't have rental assistance. And yet, President can take time out of his day to tweet about this stuff, and we can send B-52 bombers just to show our force to Iran. But again, you're not going to see this on CNN. They're going to praise that. CNN will have this on, and they'll feature, you know, we'll have generals and members of the military on there to talk about how we're showing our might, because we now need to be scared about Iran, everyone.
Well, and don't forget, Clayton.
You need to be scared.
We are a global force for good.
We are a force for good. A global force for good. We will shove our good up your ass. You don't want our good? I'm gonna shove it up your tailpipe. Take our good and shove it. And like Norway is like, we're okay. We're handling things fine. We have health care for all of our citizens. We're subsidizing their wages during the pandemic. We're doing fine. Other countries in Europe that have been at war for hundreds of years, that were invaded and led massive expansions of colonialism, have gone through this. We're like a baby country. We're like in diapers. And of these other countries like Britain and Portugal that were world leaders in domination. Like Portugal, for instance, was the country that it basically created globalization. Think about all the countries it dominated. Portugal's like, yeah, we learned our lesson on that. Not so good. You want to be the greatest country in the world, quote unquote? Yeah, we did that 400 years ago. Yeah, turns out it's not such a good idea.
Sure.
You have fun with that, America. Put 900 military bases around the world. Spend $740 billion a year on blowing people up. How's that going to work out for you? And what about your citizens that are watching this show right now? They can't pay their medical bills. They don't have enough food to eat. Can't pay their rent. Schooling is behind. Your internet sucks compared to other countries around the world. But your billionaires are taken care of. How does it feel to be the greatest country in the world?
Well, you know, if the media did their job, like we always say here, the media does not do their job, because back during Vietnam, and somebody just brought up this point, they showed what was happening. They showed the casualties of war. They showed us what happens. But now we're so disconnected, we don't know even how many. We're in like, what, 8 conflicts right now? And I don't think they can even be called wars, because war's never been declared. So we're in all these conflicts, and people don't even know. We're in Somalia. We're in Yemen or whatever. We're in... getting ready to go in Iran, I mean, Afghanistan, like, we're all over the world, and people have no idea. So how can you protest what you don't know? And the media says nothing.
Well, Hekate's daughter here, she put up a great comment here about, she said, you know, I watched the Vietnam War on television. It was on every day. But we are so separated from these wars, we have no idea. It doesn't affect everyday Americans. So we have members of the military here watching right now who I thank you for your service. But Americans are so disconnected from their wars. It's like how Americans love to eat food, right? They don't want to know that piece of chicken came from a chicken. Like, they want to just go to the grocery store and see it nicely wrapped in plastic saran wrap. Give me my chicken that way. I don't want to know what farm it came from and how this chicken was actually killed. Please. Just give me my nice little packaged plastic chicken breast so I can take it home and put it in the frying pan.
They intentionally made
with my wars.
They intentionally made a decision during the Iraq invasion to not show caskets of American soldiers like they did in Vietnam. And the reason they did that is so that people would not see the casualties of war and stand up and protest like they did in Vietnam. I mean, there were millions of people that protested the Vietnam War.
Exactly. My brother served in the Iraq War, and he was with the Navy SEALs going into Baghdad in the first wave. And we sent care packages and movies and video VHS tapes for him to watch at the time, my older brother. And, he was he was sending Tomahawk missiles to himself, basically, like programming them from where he was, spotting locations so that on the warships out in the Persian Gulf, he was like firing them at himself, basically. So if he missed, he would have been hitting himself. But we didn't see those caskets coming home at Dover Air Force Base in Delaware, like where they would fly in. It was rare that they would have cameras there. It was kept from us. It was this sanitized, we were going to hang up a yellow ribbon on trees all around the country. Remember that? The yellow ribbons on the trees? But because we keep it cloistered and separated from us, out of mind, out of sight, we don't care.
Well, and also, even the soldiers, like a lot of these wars now are fought, or conflicts, I don't want to call them wars because they've never been declared, but they're fought now with drones. So even the soldiers have a disconnect from the people they're killing because they're not seeing them. They're seeing them as targets in the view is coming from a drone. It's like playing a video game to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just increased our drone budget, by the way. So we can continue to just drop bombs. That was expanded under Obama, the drone president, with 8 or 9 different conflicts that we're in across Yemen and Libya and Somalia. Yeah, we just had one of our soldiers was just killed in Mogadishu. Well, like what? So Americans are like, wait a minute, why are we in Somalia? Why do we have soldiers in Somalia? And you might be sitting there saying, well, it's to keep us safe. Yeah, really? Is that working out for us? That doesn't stop a guy. We literally are about to face the bloodiest year in American history. And not about COVID. Philadelphia is about to break records for homicides. Chicago, all of these cities across the country are breaking records right now. Are you safer? America has now become one of the most unsafe countries in the world. It's getting close to Iraq for its unsafety, the lack of safety.
Well,
Look it up on the UNESCO Peace Index. It's like 130th on the list now.
And when is a foreign country going to come in here and be like, hey, we're going to help free the American people from this, whatever this is? Like we claim to do over there.
Like, do you remember a few weeks ago we featured on the show how the Doctors Without Borders were now flying into America to help America? Doctors Without Borders, which is usually sent to, like, Sudan to help people. They're flying into the United States. So these doctors are like, we never thought we'd be flying in the United States to help them. Yeah. So the whole point of me doing this show is to call attention to these issues that I think matter to you and your family. To not be ripped off by Wall Street, putting your money into a stock market that enriches Wall Street, understanding how this corrupt government works, and this propagandist mainstream media. So if you sit down and you watch your CNN at night or your MSNBC or any of your conservative news networks, whatever, and they want to tell you how Iran is our new enemy, I want you to ask yourself critically, how? How are they really? We need a boogeyman. We need to pretend that they are an enemy in order to further spend money on this military-industrial complex.
Well, then how bad do we look around the world when we are suffering the worst from this pandemic and we're not helping our citizens, and then we're still going to fly a pandemic to threaten another country? I mean, come on.
Yeah, so we can gas up these bombers, fly them over the Persian Gulf in a show of force to Iran. Because we're a global force for good.
Force for good.
We're coming for you. We're going to drop our good all over you. We're going to bomb some good into you. That's how we do it. And
You know
who
I was
supports
doing
this?
Political Morning
That's why we need to
Digest.
vote on this defense budget.
Morning, man.
That's right. Let's get there, man. Let's do it. We can do it, Mitch. While Americans suffer, you continue to screw people over. That's going to do it for the birthday edition of Morning Invest, the last show of 2020. I want to thank all of you for your birthday wishes for me today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for becoming a part of this great community here and being a part of our show every morning that we do 9 a.m. Eastern Time. You can join us live. All I ask in return is just maybe subscribe to the channel. Today's the last day that we're going to have the little Christmas hat. Yep. The little Santa hat up here. So tap on that, subscribe, and turn on the little bell notification because we do a lot of live shows, and so you'll be notified as soon as we go live. So
if you're
thank
on
you so
YouTube.
much for joining us. If you're on YouTube, that's right. I always forget to say that. If you're on Twitch, I thank you as well. If you're on Facebook, you can follow us there, and Twitter, follow us there as we broadcast all over those different places. And finally, my only Christmas wish is that you will subscribe to our newsletter if you're not already subscribed. It's, again, totally free. We put a lot of work into it.
All this week.
And I'd love for you to subscribe. I had a goal. I wanted to hit a certain number of subscribers by the end of the year, and we're about 500 people short right now.
Cool.
So I'd love to get there by the end of today. So just sign up, morninginvest.com. Again, it's totally free. It's
I
delivered
swapped
to
out
your
some
email
of the late
inbox first thing in
midnight
the morning.
joints, 2 in the morning joints with the morning.
If you don't like it, you can opt out at any time. Just to be clear, you're not trapped.
Yeah, if you don't like it, we just try to provide you with some good value and some good news stories, progressive issues, and other news stories that we think are relevant, funny, for your family. It's totally free. Morninginvest.com. That's my birthday wish.
I just got a notification.
Thank you, everyone, for your kind birthday wishes. Have a great New Year's Eve tonight. We will be back tomorrow with another show here on Morning Invest. And here is to a prosperous and better 2021. I'm hoping that this Congress actually provides stimulus and some blanket of support for the American worker in this new year. Much love to all of you. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
I like this music they got. Mitch McConnell. Right. Yeah. You know, I'm just being informal. You know what I mean? Figuring any day now the bill would be passed, so you might as well follow along. Boy, yeah, I did see something just now from my boy Ron. Hope he's not late to the show. An hour ago, so I guess there was a meeting. I need to update. Let me see what Ron talking about. 7 minutes ago. 15 minutes, not bad. Yeah, it's Turtle Boy. Barb drip.
Hey guys, it's Lex Buddy, and I want to tell you about a new RPG called This is an RPG that you cannot miss.
Mitch McConnell, $2,000 stimulus checks are in. Second stimulus check update. Welcome back, you guys. It's Ron here with your second stimulus check update and stimulus package update. I hope you guys are doing very well today on this Thursday, December 31st of December. Guys, it's freaking New Year. You guys ought to be feeling pretty amped up. And your boy, Mitch McConnell, just joined the push for $2,000 stimulus checks. What the heck else are we waiting for, right? And I'm also going to give you guys the latest updates on Nancy Pelosi, President Trump, and the American people, and most importantly, another city that is offering rent and utilities assistance. So I can't wait to share all of this information with you guys, and so definitely stick around until the end of this video so that you don't miss any of these details. But first, I want to say welcome back to all my subscribers. I really appreciate you guys, and for those who are brand new to the channel, my name is Ron. We cover all things personal finance, investing, how to generate multiple streams of income,
earlier
and of
today?
course, stimulus check updates and stimulus
Few hours
package
ago?
updates. So if you have not already, definitely hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell so that you know as soon as I release new videos and content. And it's New Year's Eve, guys, and I hope you guys have some champagne, maybe some shot glasses, or maybe even a simple drink to ring in the new year. And what I want to wish all of you guys in the coming year is some peace of mind. So I put together the best and most practical of my financial know-how in a totally free financial freedom movie. So you guys, you can hit the new year, you can hit the financial ground running with all my credit hacks, credit secrets, investing strategies, and tips. And this will actually help you guys to make the most of your stimulus and maybe even be able to, retire early. Wouldn't it be nice to just wake up one day and literally be debt free and owe no money to anyone? Like, I think that would be just totally sick for everyone, right? So anyway, the new year is the perfect time to start on your financial freedom journey. And so hit the link in the description down below. But anyway, let's jump into the content. So the $600 stimulus checks are really coming in, you guys. I'm hearing from all of our community members waking up to $600, $1,200, $2,400 in their bank accounts from all over the place, like Florida, Ohio, New York, and many others are saying that their payments are already pending for Friday until early next week. So I just want to say Happy New Year to all of you guys, and show me some love in the comments. Drop me a Happy New Year's and say Happy New Year's to all, all of our community members here. Just spread the love, right? So that's great news to hear, but let's definitely see where else stimulus checks are coming in from. And guys, if you've received your stimulus check already, just drop me a comment down below. Let me know where you're from so we can do a quick survey. And for those of you guys who are waiting for your stimulus checks in the mail, the good news is that the IRS and the Treasury have already confirmed that the first batch of stimulus checks and debit cards are really already in the mail. So much earlier than we first anticipated, and a lot earlier than it took, in the previous CARES Act. So there's a lot of good news here. And the best part about this is that the $600 stimulus checks that you guys have already gotten may be just the beginning, as we see the $2,000 stimulus checks gaining more and more momentum by the day. And coming all the way from zero just a few days ago, you guys, if you guys remember, now we have Mitch McConnell himself, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, actually proposing his own version, his own bill for $2,000 stimulus checks. Now that's crazy exciting.
New Country Crock plant butter
I
tastes
knew
like
it.
butter. Which
He's late. He's behind. Because Mitch's bill is an intentional setup to fail. So, he's seeing this wrong, I think.
means it's even loved by 5-year-old Cammy, who doesn't.
And some crucial differences with his version, though, is that it's not for $2,000 for all, and it comes with some very tricky strings attached with it. So, first of all, his version of the bill, the $2,000 stimulus checks, they're only for adults. So still $600 for children and nothing at all for adult dependents. So this is vastly different from the original version that the Democrats came out with that gave $2,000 in stimulus checks to everyone, including children as well as adult dependents. And he also tied this to President Donald Trump's other demands just last Saturday when he signed the stimulus package into law. And those are to repeal Section 230 that shields tech companies from, being held liable for what users post, and start an investigation into voter fraud in the presidential elections. Now get this, Mitch McConnell himself seems to have realized that his job of Senate Majority Leader is literally tied to this $2,000 stimulus checks all along. And 2 weeks ago, the New York Times reported that in private calls, McConnell described Senator Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue, the Republican candidates in the Georgia runoff elections, as getting hammered over an initial lack of support for additional stimulus checks. Now, candidates win in the Georgia runoff elections on January. Keep in mind, that's next week, you guys. Then the Democrats will take control over the Senate, and good old Mitch will have to give up his Senate majority leadership and hand it over to Senator Chuck Schumer, who's all for the $2,000 stimulus checks. Now, in fact, he was the first one who raised a vote on Tuesday for it. a vote which Mitch McConnell himself quickly blocked. As soon as it came out of Senator, Chuck Schumer's mouth, he literally just kind of jumped in the way. And a day after, just yesterday, Senator Bernie Sanders requested a vote for the larger payments after the vote of the National Defense Authorization Act, aka the NDAA, and Mitch McConnell again objected. Now, since Mitch McConnell seems to be intent on voting on the NDAA, Sanders blocked this and vowed to let it pass only after Mitch McConnell allows an up or down vote on the $2,000 stimulus checks. And his most recent press release was, if Senator McConnell doesn't agree to an up or down vote to provide the working people of our country a $2,000 direct payment, Congress will not be going home for New Year's Eve. Let's do our job. So yeah, let's get this done, people, right? So Mitch McConnell's own questionable $2,000 stimulus check bill would actually both avoid the act of actually passing $2,000 stimulus checks because Democrats would never go for the strings that he attached to it. Mainly because it would allow Republican senators running for re-election in Georgia's January 5th runoffs to express support for Trump's priorities. In a statement Tuesday, Schumer said if McConnell tries loading up the bill with unrelated partisan provisions, that will do absolutely nothing to help struggling families across the country. Larger direct payments would not become law. He said any move like this by Senator McConnell would be a blatant attempt to deprive Americans of a $2,000 survival check. And if it's just the standalone stimulus checks, then the full Senate would be sure to get all 48 Democratic votes and independents who caucus with them. And so what this means is that we just need 12 of the chamber's 52 Republicans to be on board. And so far, we've heard from several willing Republicans already. Namely, we've got Marco Rubio of Florida, we've got Josh Hawley of Missouri.
Last Friday, this guy stole a package right off my porch. Or at least that's what would have happened if I didn't have my Vision Smart security system.
We've got Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue of Georgia, and Hawley tweeted, "We have the votes. Let's vote today." Like Sanders, Hawley said he would block the defense bill until the Senate votes on the $2,000 stimulus checks. Now, unfortunately, what Mitch McConnell is proposing is a bill with the Section 230 and the election provisions attached to it, and that won't get much support, if any, from the Democrats. Now, keeping the pressure on good old Mitch are House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, President Donald Trump himself, and of course the American people, you guys, me, we're all keeping the pressure on Mitch McConnell. And in a press conference just yesterday, Nancy Pelosi called out Mitch McConnell by saying, the Democrats and Republicans in the House have passed that legislation. Who is holding up the distribution to the American people? Mitch McConnell and the Senate Republicans. In blocking it, they are in denial of the hardship that American people are experiencing right now, health-wise, financially, in every way. Their lives and livelihood in many cases are on the brink. So they're in denial of that need in denying this benefit. I do hope that in the days ahead, we only have a few days left in this session, that they will see the light and understand the suffering that is going on in this country. Meanwhile, just today, President Trump tweeted $2,000 ASAP. Now, keep in mind, this is a Republican president, the supposed head of their party saying this. And most importantly, in the latest poll from Data for Progress, an overwhelming 78% of American voters support $2,000 stimulus checks. And the same poll adds that among the Republicans polled, still an overwhelming 73% support $2,000 stimulus checks. So basically, that's your voice right there, you guys. And their tweet even called out Mitch himself. So yes, I am actually expecting another breaking news video coming up pretty soon. I'm expecting, Mitch McConnell to, do something in response to this. So make sure you don't miss that next update by clicking the subscribe button and tap the notification bell so that you don't miss out. In other breaking news, it looks like we're going to be seeing the election process being drawn out some more as Republican senators, including Josh Hawley, are planning to challenge the Electoral College results next week. And remember, this is the final step in the election process to actually confirm President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration on January 20th. And according to Hawley, he said, at the very least, Congress should investigate allegations of voter fraud and adopt measures to secure the integrity of our elections. But Congress has so far failed to act. Now, I just want to ask you guys, what do you guys think about the voter fraud, allegations? Do you guys think that there have been, voter fraud taking place, at a small scale, maybe a large scale? I would love to hear from you guys because, there's quite a bit of mixed opinions on, whether or not there was or there wasn't. Many states have, evaluated what has happened, and they've essentially dismissed cases. So I would love to know from you guys, do you guys actually think that President Trump got, cheated? Do you think that, President-elect Joe Biden legitimately won that election? Drop me a comment down below. Maybe we'll kind of have a future debate on that, but I'd love to know,
Want to know where to invest $1,000 right now? Hi, Rex Moore with The Motley Fool, and if you know us...
What you guys think, so drop me a comment down below. The Hill, in their article, counts 24 Republicans planning to join Hawley on this one. By law, if any member of the House joined by a senator objects to the Electoral College slates, both chambers must debate and then vote on the contest. But the challenge will inevitably fail because Democrats hold a majority in the House, plus a number of Senate Republicans have also recognized Biden's win and are unlikely to sustain the challenge. Mitch McConnell and other leading Republicans also discourage their members from challenging this process, basically seeing it as a battle that they just can't win. And it would ultimately just drag out the process and make them take an awkward vote. So it looks like Hawley may just be, appealing to Trump supporters and parts of the Republican base for his 2024 presidential bid. Now, in the best news today, I found another local rental assistance program for you guys, and this one is for our community members in Columbus, Indiana. And this particular offer offers up to 3 months in rent or utilities. That's gas, that's water, that's electricity paid directly to your landlord. So definitely hit the link in the description down below for information on that particular application. And I will do my best to forever and always include the latest state and local stimulus and assistance programs near you guys in my upcoming videos. So definitely make sure you keep watching, guys. And if you guys have missed any of my previous videos, definitely check out my previous videos in the links in the description down below.
Hey, that's my boy Ron Yates. I wrote it up there yesterday. Down again. Hey, finna get the day started here. It's a little bit before noon. And I much appreciate everybody that pulled up. Happy New Year's Day, New Eve, whatever. Shit. Apparently you stayed safe, you stayed smart, you stayed up. You're here. Continue that momentum. Again, that's Ron Yates. Type that free. Good people. And God willing, I'll see you all back at midnight type shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, 10 o'clock. You know what I mean? I'll go by Eastern time. So, see you then. Check for us then. Catch you on the next one. Peace.